Hi Libras, happy birthday and welcome to your October 2018 Tarology 33 reading. We have a Celtic Cross spread in front of us, which is a 10 card spread, and then you also have an Oracle card that we'll read at the end to help tie everything together. So let's get started with the messages one by one. In the main situation, you have the Strength card. This is the Major Arcana card for Leo, so some of you could be dealing with a Leo. Others of you, this could just be referring to 11th house situations, so you could be dealing with friendships, perhaps dealing with hopes or wishes. This could just be pointing to the fact that the ruler of Leo, which is the sun, will be in your sign this month because this is Libra season. But for some of you, looking at some of the other cards around the spread, what I think this is saying is that you have your strength back in a way. You know, you're feeling more like yourself. You have more energy, and especially for Libra risings, when a bunch of activities going on in your 12th house, you know, we had the sun moving through your 12th house, we had the new moon in your 12th house, so on and so forth. Your energy levels could feel a bit low. You know, you might feel like you're resting up for something big, and then when you get to the point where the sun enters your sign or enters your first house for Libra risings, you can feel re-energized in that regard. So that could be what that's referring to. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the Seven of Swords. So referring with the Strength card, what I think this is saying is maybe you having the strength to deal with some kind of deception that was in your midst. You know, whether just facing that there was deception to begin with and finally finding the strength to move forward from it, or maybe even just addressing it with someone, you know, and letting them know, hey, you know, I know this is what's been going on. The way I describe this is if you want to look at it in a relationship context, I always say that those two swords to me represent, let's say, the stable relationship, right? And then these five things here is the other person saying, well, you know what? I know that I always have this relationship back at home for me when I want to come back to it. So in the meantime, I'm going to do all these things all I want to do. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean other people. You know, they might not be seeing other people behind the person's back, but they just might not be giving their fair share to the relationship. You know, an example I usually give is maybe this is a stable relationship and this person's going out with their friends instead of spending time with the other person or helping them around the house with whatever needs to get done. Maybe even just hobbies that they have, you know, just really not putting any effort into the relationship, just taking for granted that it'll always be there for them when they need it. Financially, this could be the same thing where, you know, they could give you the feeling that, oh yeah, we're in this equally, or yes, I'm treating you fairly, and telling you, oh, this is all the resources we have to give you, but then meanwhile, look how much they're taking for themselves, you know. You know, they're showing you, oh yeah, we only have 2 to give, but really they had 7 and they're just taking a bunch for themselves. So it could just be that you're addressing imbalances there too. So either way, with the Strength card as the main situation, if you are facing deception in some area of life, you should have the energy to address it this month, and no better time to do it than when you have the sun in your sign. We'll see how that plays out as we go along. In the foundation position, we have the Lovers. So for some of you, this definitely could be related to a relationship. This is also a Gemini card, so some of you could be dealing with a Gemini. Gemini is the 9th house for you, so this could be related to issues of higher learning, beliefs, philosophies. But most likely what I'm seeing here, with some of this energy that's on the table, we have the 5 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, which is referred to as being left out in the cold. We have the 9 of Cups in reverse there. So for a lot of you, I think this is referring to a heartbreak that you may be getting over. And whether that's because someone new comes along to help you get over this heartbreak, or you're just facing that, hey, you know what, I thought it was this, I thought it was my wish come true, but I see that it's not now. I see that there was deception and taking the steps to move forward. It could go either way. Some of you might relate to one part of that, others might relate to the other part of the message. In the past position, we have the Four of Swords. So everyone, for the most part, is familiar with the Three of Swords, right? That's the tarot card with the heart and three swords going through it. This is the card that comes after that, so I always look at that as these are the three swords that were in the heart. This person has taken the time to heal from that. They have their own sword underneath, right? And they're just regaining their strength, resting, thinking things over. There's a message of having faith in there too with the imagery, so this could just be saying that in the past, again, pointing to what we were saying there. Maybe this was a relationship that you thought was one way and it turned out it wasn't, and maybe you're finally recovering from that now, with this being in the past energy. In the present position, we have a card that most people like to see, which is the Nine of Cups, but it is in reverse. So this could just be saying that something that you thought was a wish come true turned out not to be that way, which certainly would align with the Five of Pentacles and Seven of Swords and so forth. But it doesn't always have to be that. This could also be saying that sometimes if you look at the look on this person's face, if I could get the camera to focus, now they look somewhat smug, right? They seem very content and pleased with themselves. So, sometimes this could be saying that maybe you're being a little bit too passive and not taking enough action in something, just overconfident. With the Nine Cups there, let's say it was a breakup you went through. Maybe you've been partying a bit too much, drinking too much to get over it. And with this in reverse, that could be saying that maybe you're putting that behind you now, with the Strength card coming into play, saying that, you're actually ready to move forward. There's going to be a full moon. I'm recording this on the 22nd of September. There's going to be a full moon coming up in a few days. That's going to be in your opposite sign. And it's going to be in contact with, Saturn's going to be squaring your sign, basically. So that could be what helps you get over that as well, that energy, because Saturn tends to be some not necessarily restrictive planet, but a disciplinary planet. So maybe with that full moon and Saturn being in the mix there, might give you the energy to overcome that if that's what you've been dealing with. In the near future position, we have a much better card than some of the others. We have the Ten of Pentacles and in the upright. So let's just say that if we were referring to career deception, right? Maybe they were telling you, oh, we only have this much to give you, when really they had a lot more to give, and that's the type of deception you've been dealing with. Things should clear up in that. And maybe that's what the Five of Pentacles is saying. You've been feeling like you've been getting shortchanged, shorthanded. For some of you, since this can be tied to a relationship, it might even be a divorce, maybe. Maybe you found out that your significant other was hiding some assets and saying that, oh, I don't have this much, in order to try to get out of splitting some of those assets. So maybe that comes to light. There's a few ways that could go, but really, with the Strength card, and then this card in the near future, I just feel like one way or another you guys are getting back on your feet, which is definitely a good thing, and feeling more like you're back in control. In the position of your influence on a situation, we had a Three of Cups. So to me, this could just say that you're celebrating. That can naturally happen when it's your birthday season, right? I view the Three of Cups as long-standing relationships, because I view it as a Cancer card, and the Three I view as the fixed energy of Cancer. So that's emotions, your moon, that could be your family ties or just long-standing friendships that you've had. So maybe you're reconnecting with them. Maybe you've been in that Four of Swords phase for a while, where you haven't been coming out, you've been feeling low because you've been going through some kind of deception or heartbreak. Now you're finally coming out of that, feeling more like yourself and getting out and just reconnecting with people again. And like I said, maybe if this is a new relationship that comes along, maybe that's why, as a result of you putting yourself back out there again. Um, and sometimes people say that this is a card that points to partying too much. I don't necessarily see that in this particular case. I view it more as maybe you've just been feeling out of sorts. Now you have your strength back and you're getting back out there, um, doing some celebrating, reconnecting with people that maybe you hadn't seen in a while. All right, in the position of the environment's influence on the situation, we have the Death card. So, the obvious meaning of this could be an ending, right, of some sort. Um, the Death card represents Scorpio, which is your second house, so it could be an ending referring to finances. Your ruler is Venus, and Venus is actually going to be moving retrograde through the sign of Scorpio in your second house. So while sometimes that can be a bit tricky for finances, thus your Five of Pentacles energy and Seven of Swords, if you were already coming out of financial difficulty, the Death card could actually, and Venus going retrograde through that second house, might help you review something. Again, like I said, maybe if this is deception coming to light and you being able to address it and get it rectified. That could be what's at play too, because you also have Jupiter in your second house, which is again pointing to Scorpio energy here. So that could give you some luck with finances too. So even if it's just shifting from one job to another, or maybe if you've been fighting for money that was owed to you, like I said, whether it was with a divorce settlement or maybe a former employer that didn't want to pay you money you were owed or something along those lines, it looks like the Death card here could be saying that there's an end to that. Or maybe someone comes along, maybe a Scorpio, but could be any sign. Someone comes along that helps you end, this phase of feeling left out in the cold, feeling like something that was a wish come true wasn't, feeling like you were dealing with deception. Maybe to help you move past that. That's another way that could play out. And in the hopes or fears position, we have the Two of Pentacles. So this is actually a Capricorn card for me, and it's the first 10 degrees of Capricorn. So this could be pointing again to that full moon coming up, right as the sun gets into your sign. Could just be saying that with Saturn squaring your sun at that time, could just be saying that it helps you again if it's financial difficulty, or maybe if for some of you, maybe you were the ones with the Three of Cups here, maybe you were juggling between two people. It looks like that's going to come to an end, whether it was someone else doing it to you or vice versa. Maybe you're worried that you'll have financial struggles, right? Which would be totally understandable if you were dealing with the Five of Pentacles energy, feeling you had the Nine of Cups in reverse, and that there was deception at play. You might have felt like, oh, I'm just going to have to struggle financially for the foreseeable future, and now things start to pan out in your favor. That could be the case there. And then in the outcome position, we have the Emperor. So this is actually the major arcana card for Aries, which is your opposite sign. Camera's not focusing, sorry about that. But, this could just be saying that you're dealing with an Aries, of course. That's one way that we could look at it. But to me, it's talking about, I think this is pointing more to the Strength card, you feeling more in control. Again, if this was the relationship situations you were dealing with, now with the Emperor here, representing your 7th house, that could be saying that, hey, you feel more in control now. The ruler of Aries is Mars, and Mars was retrograde for a long time, basically all the summer, and now it's finally moving direct again. It's in your 5th house right now too, so maybe that's what is giving you that energy to put yourself back out there. 5th house could be talking about new love relationships. So between that being in your 5th house and then Aries ruling your 7th house, this could definitely be referring to relationships and feeling like you're getting back in control in that area of your life again. All right. So we'll wrap that up there. And now let's take a look at your oracle card, see how it ties into the reading as a whole. So the card you have is Blessed. There's the artwork for it, and the number is 22, in case that number has any significance for you. Let's take a look at the messages. All right. It says, something wonderful that is unearned and unexpected, grace that is an unforeseen gift from Spirit. The Oracle's message. There are moments in life when, out of the blue, it seems that everything has been orchestrated by divine intervention. You feel blessed in ways that are difficult to express. It's as if the Red Sea parts in front of you and events come together to banish your troubles easily and naturally. You know deep down you did not deserve any of it, and yet here you are. This is one of those times. Let awe and gratitude for all your blessings guide you now. Well, in a way, that message almost sounds a little harsh, right? But maybe it's just saying that maybe you were feeling so down on yourself again. If you had that Five of Pentacles energy at the bottom of the deck, you have the Seven of Swords there, you're in the Four of Swords energy, Nine of Cups in reverse. Looks like the energy leading up to the month is a bit rougher, and then it seems to definitely progress in a more positive direction. So I don't know if I would agree with the unearned part, but maybe it's just a matter of maybe you've been feeling down for so long that you don't feel deserving of the good things that do come your way. But hey, when the universe is giving out gifts, don't turn it down. That's what I say, you know? So keep that in mind, and maybe that's what that death card is. It's saying that things happening in your environment bring you out of this negative phase you were in and move you more towards a positive phase. Okay, and for those of you, if this resonated as a relationship reading, we'll read that message next. It says, you are moving towards a deepening of intimacy in a unique and sacred partnership. You know you are meant to make this connection. This union, blessed by the divine, will bring transformation and beauty to the world. This is also a sign that, even more important, you've been called to a deeper intimacy with yourself and spirit. With this new development, you will see evidence of grace in your life. So again, this could be referring to the Lover's card there. Like I said, maybe this is all past relationship energy, these three cards here. And now, when you come into this month, you actually have a new partnership that helps you put an end to feeling left out in the cold and move forward and feel back in control of your love life. That could be what's at play there. And for those of you this resonated financially, we'll read the message for prosperity. It says, unexpected windfalls and good fortune come your way now. You're in a phase where any difficulties or obstacles that have stymied your success seem to disappear on their own. Be ready to receive. The windows of opportunity will open wide. Accept the blessings given to you now and don't forget to share them. Well, I mean, that's a pretty good message there, guys. Don't forget the last sentence. It says, don't forget to share them. So if any of you guys win the lottery, you know, you could reach out to me, send me a few bucks if you don't mind. I'll accept it gladly. But just messing around, guys. Looks like a pretty good ending to your reading there, so we'll wrap up. I will be offering private readings in October now that my schedule is a bit freed up. So you could check the About section of the channel if you want information on that. And if not, I'll see you guys next month, all right? Happy birthday again. Bye.